to overcome. What do you think about the way the guys battled, competed, and persevered to send it to the final seconds?
No, I loved it. And I told him after and we also had a couple guys not play well on top of foul trouble, injuries, all the other stuff, and they didn't stop. They kept playing. And we had funky lineups in that we had never used before, which gave us, we started having trouble. Okay, offensively, how do we play with this team? They've never been together, but guys fought. And that's all you can ask. They made shots that they didn't make I was disappointed in how we started the game. We had a lot of guys that it was almost like they were intimidated by the game. Well, you can't play at Kentucky if you're intimidated by a game. You just got to go play, shoot balls that are there. But and again, I tried to get that timeout late. Joe must not have heard me. I was right there in his ear screaming it, but maybe my voice is going. But again, for what we did and how we played to be in the game, but come on, I hate losing. So.
And can you give us an update on Xavier's condition?
I don't know yet.
Thanks.
Everybody, go ahead.
John, just with Xavier out, kind of talk about what that put on Ty and then exactly what happened to him there late in the game. Was it just cramps or was it something?
I think he cramped up.
So what did that put on him once Wheeler went out?
What do you mean? What? Then we played with whoever was left. We were trying to win the game. I was trying to do anything I could. We had one or two bad turnovers, and that's it, which is why we were in the game. One was Jacob throwing the ball ahead to kick, like lackadaisical throwing the ball ahead to Kellen, and it gets stolen and layup down the other end. But there wasn't many. The last play where the guy tips from behind. Okay. But we just didn't have many, live ball turnovers, because if you have that against them, they score. They did a good job of getting back, but when Xavier went down, he's the engine on this thing. He gets us all moving. And but like I said, kids fought. I thought there was a lot of physicalness. Like, wow, guys are getting knocked down, mostly our guys, and and it's free to go play, and I'll watch the tape, and but they hung in and gave themselves a chance. 1 point game. When you start off the game 1 for 11 from the three, 5 for 11 from the foul line, at halftime I told them, guys, think about it. And Oscar didn't play 8 or 9 minutes. And we're down 5. Let's go win this. And that was what I said at halftime. That's, my message.
Kyle Tucker, go ahead.
You mentioned Xavier being the engine. How much does it change everything about the way you want to play offensively when he's not out there?
I was just trying to get a W. I was going play to play. Where normally I'm letting him go and he'll decide what we're doing. I ended up, and then when Ty went down, it's a totally different ball game there too. And so, now we're just let's just get it up the court and get into something and try to get a good look at the basket, which is not how I want to coach. But you're trying to win. You're just doing what you have to try to win.
Guys, apologize for the Wi-Fi connection. I think you guys still got audio. Kyle, go ahead with another one.
Yeah, Cal, obviously Oscar sat those last 11 or 12 minutes of the first half. He seems to have done a pretty good job when he gets in foul trouble of avoiding. I don't think he got another one tonight. With him, do you revisit at all the idea of the hard and fast 2 foul sit down rule?
Well, here's why I would say the game would dictate it. If the game was getting away from us, then I would have put him back in. As long as we can say we're going into halftime with a chance to win, that's how I'll do it. It's not to revisit. But if the game gets away from us, there's no reason not to play it. But it never got away from us. I think Lance is playing great basketball. Missed a bunch of free throws, but so did everybody else. I mean, how many we missed today? We missed 10 free throws today. I mean, we're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. We missed 10 in a what was the final, 5 or 6?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
And let me say this. I think 1 or 2 of them were front end one-on-ones. So you could say we missed 12 opportunities anyway.
Gary Tipton, go ahead.
John, I know it's extremely early, but I'll ask. The Notre Dame game seemed like a pivotal moment in a sense. I'm wondering how you'd compare tonight. Was it a moral victory in a way?
No. We don't have those here, and I don't coach that way. But here's what I would say: totally different, because we had a full team and went 2 for 19 from the 3, and never. All we were doing was, and we were up 2 with the minute 30, and then played, turned it over and did some dumb things down the stretch. But this game, you're with, out your 2 best guards. And again, needed some other guys to step up and really fight. What happened in this game, if you watched it close, you could tell who was in a fight mood, in an aggressive mood, and for us, and who wasn't in that mode. And if you're tentative at all, it's hard to be aggressive. It's hard to have fight because you're tentative. And again, I told Paul, I'm taking you out. And then I did it in front of the team at halftime. If he doesn't shoot, I'm not playing him. And that's why I went to Dante. Wish Dante would have taken that charge when that kid ran down the middle, because I think that would have woke him up and maybe he could have hit a shot or 2, but that wasn't the issue. I mean, we did what we had to give ourselves a chance to win.
What sort of lift, John, do you think Jacob gave you guys?
Oh, he was terrific. All energy. He was terrific. Blocking shots, rebounding balls. I haven't looked at the stats yet, but without even looking at him, he did well.
Larry Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, John, I was going to ask you also about Jacob. In the first half there, in the last 9 minutes, you scored 17 points and he got 13 of them. But then in the second half, he had trouble scoring. Something different they did, or something different that just happened to you?
I'll have to watch the tape. I know he missed some shots. Sometimes you make them, and then it's kind of like Kellen. Kellen was 0 for 7 at half. I don't know what he was for the second half, but sometimes it's just they miss shots. They're not robots. They're not machines. They don't play well all the time. And I said that after. If you didn't play well, that's fine. Just play better next game. But, my thing to them as I continue, I coach, you play. If you're not going to compete and fight, I'll put somebody else in. But your job is to get in there and do that. And we have a team. I'm telling you, again, now we have to see what happens. But we're down. We're a little bit down in numbers now.
Guys, a couple more here. John, I'll let you go before Kyle, since we sent up the wrong link. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cal, you mentioned Kellen there. He obviously got really hot at the beginning of the second half, but I don't think he took a shot in the last 11 minutes until the one at the buzzer. Was that something they were doing to take that away from him? Was it Severe not being out there? What was going on?
Yeah, you don't, you're not having that Severe or Ty in that lead position, finding him. And, I thought Davion did fine, but he's not a point guard. He's more of a scorer. That's what he is. But I'll tell you, he fought. Davion did. He fought on defense, did some good stuff.
Kyle, back to you.
Alan, staying with the Jacob Toppin line of questioning, and his brother is sort of famously a steep rising developmental guy. Year after year, he just got better and better and better until he was, a National Player of the Year. Jacob obviously has some of the similar kind of athleticism. Have you seen him just steadily, constantly improve since you've had him in his development?
He has, Kyle, but the biggest thing is part of that is maturing, becoming a young man and becoming a man to be that guy. And it's taken him time. He's got some immaturity, but it's gotten way better. He's to be confident. I don't know if you ever really listen to what I'm saying, but you cannot be confident if you're not competent. So if you're not good with the ball and you're not a good shooter, it's hard to be confident. And there's one way of doing it: get in that gym. And he's been working. Lance has been working, spending extra time. That's why I was really surprised he missed all those free throws. But tough loss for these kids. I mean, they wanted to win. They know what went on, and guys had a chance. Some guys weren't ready for this moment, but that's all part of growth.
All right, guys, we're gonna let Cal go here. Give you a few. Don Hale, go ahead.
Ellen, when did you guys know that Xavier wasn't going to be available, and what kind of was the message amongst yourselves with him out?
Never told us he's competitively, but I think we were big that we would have to try to back with that on the lineup. So look, we fought today. We can't question our effort. We just got to be better.
Guys, give me a second here. The connections will. So let me guys apologize. Doing the best we can here. All right, John Clay, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of the same question, but how big of an adjustment was it to try to run the offense without Xavier in there?
mean, it was a huge adjustment. Xavier he's our point guard. He's the engine to our car, if you will, and he's the guy that's able to orchestrate our offense and really kind of control the game and get us out in transition. So it's obviously a pretty serious adjustment on the road in an atmosphere like this when he plays 3 minutes and 53 seconds and we got to adjust on the fly. And, but like I said, you can't question the resolve in our fight.
Jerry Tipton, go ahead.
Kellen, it seemed like two halves for you. The first half, nothing going in. Second half, you got on one of those Steph Curry things going. What made the difference?
I kept shooting. I didn't get down on I mean, eventually it's hard to go 0 for 10. So eventually I had some faith that a couple would drop. The coaches told me to get my legs into it more. And I was leaning a little bit. So I tried to be a little more shot prepared, running off the screens and then in the catch and shoot situations, just being down and ready. And that obviously helped in the second half.
And if I can ask one more, how would you describe the impact Jacob Toppin had in kind of getting you guys going?
He was awesome today. You guys saw, he kept us in the game in the first half. Getting out in transition, energy plays, a couple second chance points. We had a few great drives. And yeah, he was a +5 on the game. He was one of the few guys on our team that had a ±. So, without him, we wouldn't have been in the game in the first half, especially.
Larry Vaughn, you got next, and Ken Spencer.
Kellen, you're talking about the second half. In the first 5.5 minutes, you guys scored 17 points in the second half. Then after that, it seemed like the offense just went away. Is that a credit to LSU, or did you guys quit doing what was working so well early for you?
You got to attribute a little credit to LSU and then some blame to us. They definitely adjusted, however, guarding our pin down action and then some of the actions we were doing to get shots early on. In the second half, they started topping us on the baseline and making the catches a lot more difficult with their switches. So the clean looks I was getting early on, they took that away. But we gotta learn how to win in an environment like that. It's very hard to hear the calls sometimes. It's hectic, it's loud. We got to get 5 guys on the same page and be prepared to execute when the game matters. And we did not do a good job of that down the stretch.
Ken Spencer, go ahead.
Yeah, Kellen, I was going to ask you, what can you take away from a game like this? Or do you kind of just throw it out a little bit just because you didn't have your starting backcourt the last 10 minutes of the game when it mattered most?
You certainly don't just throw it out. There's a lot of things we could take away from the game, both positives and negatives. Like I've said a bunch already, just in this presser, we're a resilient bunch and we showed a lot of resolve and toughness. We showed an ability to come out of halftime after really an abysmal shooting performance in the first half and had the capability to make some shots. But we got to clean up on execution, turnovers, getting key rebounds. It's very evident that when you're on the road, everything becomes that much more important, all the little things. And we didn't do a good job with the little things tonight.
Got a couple more for Kellen, so we'll get Jacob in here. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, Kellen, about Jacob, have there been moments in practice where you've kind of seen these flurries that we see occasionally from him in games where he just kind of gets into a mode where he's dominant and using that athleticism? It seems like he has these stretches where he's in kind of attack mode and we get to really see what he can do with that bounciness.
Yeah, I mean, our whole team knows he's capable. Oftentimes, what can really be a spark for anybody on the court, but you see it with Keon and Jacob especially. a couple tip balls, a block shot, a rebound in traffic, getting out in transition, getting a dunk, and you can just see how that can ignite a real quality performance. And that's what happened with Jacob today. And like I said, he kept us in the game in the first half.
Guys, anything else for Kellen? All right, give us a second here and we'll have Jacob swap back. Jerry Tippin, go ahead.
Jacob, how did you think you played today? How do you think the team played today?
Well, without Xavier, it took a toll on us a little bit, but we had to adjust, and I think we adjusted a little bit, but definitely without Xavier today, it hurt us a lot. And then down the stretch, Ty was cramping up or whatever was happening with him. So we lost a couple guys, but we still fought, and we didn't come out with the W. So we have things we need to work on, and that's what we're going to do.
How did you think you played? How do you think you maybe ignited things to, get the team going?
I mean, I always emphasize how I'm an energy guy, and I'm always going to bring the energy and do anything I need to help my team win. But obviously, we didn't get a W, so we all have things we need to work on, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back, watch film, and figure out what we need to fix.
Thanks.
I'll go to you next, and then Ken Spencer.
Cal had a lot of positive things to say about you tonight, and one of them was that some of your continued growth is about maturity. What do you think he means by that, and where do you think you've grown in that area?
That's been a word that since I came on campus, because like I said, I'm an energy guy on and off the court. So I bring a lot of energy. So sometimes I can get goofy a little bit and I'm like not locked in anymore. So he always goes back to that word maturity to make sure I'm 100% locked in when I'm on the court, when I'm trying to learn what I need to do to better myself and help myself do anything I need to do to help the team.
Kent, go ahead.
Yeah, Jacob, in practice, have you guys even worked without having Xavier and Ty in the game at the same time? And is that, something that maybe you guys need to do if you haven't, kind of in case of emergency break glass situation?
Yes, we do work on situations where Ty and Xavier aren't in the game. When we go 5-on-5, Davion's usually running the point, and we have a team where Ty and Xavier is not on it. So we definitely work on it, but in game, it's different than practice. The intensity is different. The pace of the game is different. Everything's different. So you can work on it, but at the end of the day, the game is always going to be different.
John Hale.
Yeah, Jacob, can you just expand on that a little bit? How exactly is the offense different without Xavier? Is it as simple as the speed and not getting as many out in transition as much, or is there something else out there too?
It's definitely the speed. We could definitely continue to get into transition offense, but the speed that he brings to the game, even though people try to sag off, he can still get into the paint and find others. And his defensive accountability is very low. So he is very good on the defensive end. He doesn't allow a lot of points on the defensive end, and he's very disruptive on the defensive end. So that's something we lacked in today's game. But things happen. We can't do nothing about it, and we have to move on and just figure out what we need to do.
Terry, back to you.
Yeah, Jacob, you mentioned that when you were asked about maturity, that you can kind of get goofy at times. How does this show itself? What do you do, say, act that brings Cal to think maturity is needed?
It could be something as simple as just whistling, to be honest. I whistled one time in practice. He got mad at me and yelled at me. But other things, just not paying attention, maybe laughing, just simple, goofy stuff that I usually do that I need to cut out.
What's that a product of?
Huh?
The laughing, whistling, why do you do that? Or why did you?
I mean, I don't know. I've always been a person who likes to goof around, but obviously I need to change it. And Coach Cal, he's helping me change it. And it's helping me on the court. I'm being more mature and it's helping, obviously.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yep.
John Clay?
Jacob, Cal said at Kentucky, there's no such thing as a moral victory. But can you take some positives from this game, from the fact that you didn't have Severe for basically the whole game? Ty's cramping up. You guys aren't making free throws, but you still fought.
100%. That's the positive out of here. We fought. We didn't have Xavier. We didn't have Ty down the stretch. We didn't shoot the ball well. We shot 33% from the three. That's okay. They could be better. Free throws, 100% could be better. So there's definitely positives. We were in the game with all these mistakes that we've done, with all these missing pieces to our puzzle. And we still lost by 5? So can't do nothing about it. You got to move on, watch film, better yourself, better the team, just move on from it.
Jerry, you got one more?
Yeah, thanks. Just one quick one, Jacob. What you guys turned it over the last 2 possessions? What happened there?
We turned it over. We were careless with the ball. And that's really about it. We were just careless down the stretch and it caused the turnover. I don't know what else to say about that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Guys, anything else? All right, we'll let Jacob get out of here.